What's up, YouTube family? Gerald Greenlee here with Clean Green Lawn Service in beautiful South Georgia. Hey, hope y'all are having a great day. This video is gonna deviate away from my normal lawn care stuff and my normal rambling on. So I'm gonna do an install video. This is on the new house I'm building. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time talking about that because again, this video is specific to installing a door handle. And a lot of my videos have done well on install. I can understand that. People buy a new door lock, for example. That's what this video is going to be about. And they say, hey, I need to be able to put that on my house. I don't want to pay somebody to come do that. A door lock install is relatively easy with some pretty basic tools. So what we have here is Schlage. This is an entry door lock, deadbolt, and of course the handle, and as it says on here, easy installation. It does have instructions and all with it. I want to show you one that's already installed right here on my back door. So that is the deadbolt. I don't have that adjusted yet, and that is the handle. On the outside, it looks like this. It's just you got your key to get in and open. All right, okay, so that's what the finished product looks like. Now the question becomes, how do we get to that? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this real quick and I'll check back with y'all. So as you open up this particular box, you have a template, you have instructions, you have the inside handle and outside handle, which is going to be these two right here. Okay, you can go ahead and take those out. And then inside this box, you're going to have all of your striker plates, your deadbolt, all of your all your locking mechanisms. So that's part of the deadbolt assembly. And again, if you're not interested in the parts, you can simply scroll on down a little bit more on the video. All right. Let me get this stuff out of the paper and I'll show all of it to you. All right, and I don't know what this is a 622 matte black. This particular set here is going to be different if you get it in a bronze or if you get it in a brushed nickel or whatever you might get it in. But the installation is going to be the same. And you can probably use this for a number of different locks. But anyway, so this right here is this is a deadbolt outside part that's going to go in there. You're going to have two bolts go through here into the back of this right here, and that's what's going to secure that in. That's that top piece over there on that one. All right, you got your striker plates here. You got a cap here for the bottom of this handle. All of your screws and stuff that you need. You got your two locks for the deadbolt and for the handle, and then of course you got your inside handle, got some keys, that's important, and your outside handle. Now also important that comes with this is a template. Now I'm not going to use this template because I got the one I did with the other door. What happens is you're going to need a 3/8 drill bit, probably a battery drill or driver with a Phillips head, number 2 Phillips head, and also you're going to want a hand Phillips screwdriver, because when you start putting the bolts and stuff in this, you want to be very careful. You don't want to damage that, and with an impact or a drill, if you're not careful, you can damage that very quickly. But as far as putting these screws in, I use an impact for that. But what you're going to notice is on this, and you're going to need a 3/8 drill bit as well. So this handle mounts on the outside. This comes through the door, and that comes through the door. And that's what you're going to need that 3/8 for, because now my holes are already drilled. But see, when that goes in there, I got to take that knob out. You're going to have that at the bottom, and it's got to go through that door. So you're going to need a 3/8 drill bit for that. So anyway, I'm going to get over here and get set up on the door, and I'm going to walk you through the process. Now, All of my doors, they already have the holes in them. They already have the recesses in them for the barrels to go in. You can see how that's beyond flush right there. They already have, that's all mortised out already, so I don't have to do any of that. Now there is an option for this. If these were not routed out, there's a different, the installation is just a little bit different. You can do it a different way. You don't have to do it this way, but my doors came this way, okay? Yours may or may not. You may have to drill the holes, especially if you're adding a deadbolt. And so that's a whole nother video. I'm sure if you go on YouTube and type in, you know, how to install a deadbolt or drill a hole for a deadbolt, you can find a video. I have the stuff to do it, but that's just not part of this video. All right, so one of the first things we got to do in this process, that is the deadbolt. That is the handle, right? And I cut this out so that I could perfectly center it over that hole. And then what I'm going to do is I stretch this out. Hopefully you'll be able to get that on camera. Trying to make sure y'all can get that. And it has a mark down here at the bottom for where you need to put it. Now that line, I don't worry so much about getting this straight at this point in the process. I mean, you want to get this as straight as you can, and it has a dotted line you can line up with the edge of the door. And also, if you have those crosshairs up there pretty much centered on the upper hole, you know that you're pretty well straight. And so what I do is I get that, I take a pencil and I make a mark down here where this 3/8 hole needs to go. Now, there's my mark right there, okay? And you can pull a measurement. There's a number of different ways you could do this. What I'm gonna do is just put this on the center of the hole up here, what I think to be the center. And then I'm gonna get level on my level. And if I do that, it gives me my mark. Now, again, there are different ways that you could do this, but what you're wanting this hole to be is centered with this hole. So, I'm gonna grab a tape measure just to kind of show you another way that, you know, another way that you could do it. Because if it's off, especially with this long handle, you know, you're gonna be able to see it. So I'm going to say that's 2 3/8 to the center, and 2, and I got about 5/16 there, so I probably should be over just a hair for the center of my hole. So I'm going to go right there, right there. So we're going to drill that out, and then we'll set the lock in. All right, there's our hole. Now, one thing you want to be really careful of, like this is a hollow door, so you go through that first side and then it goes fast. So you don't want to be putting a lot of pressure on it, and you want to let the drill bit do the work, because if you don't, when you come out this side, you're going to chip it. Now, I went from this side to this side because I got more coverage on the handle over here. You could take a small 1/8 drill bit or something like that, and you could drill it out with that, and then drill it from both sides. That would alleviate the possibility of chipping, you know, the finish on the door. So, all right, we're gonna get our barrel locks put in, and then we're gonna mount this handle. Deadbolt goes up top, and if you look, it's got up written there with an arrow. So that makes it very simple. These are also adjustable. This is right for my application, which is a 2 3/8 center hole. There are some other ways that some of them come. As far as this one goes, you want it turned where the flat side is to the inside of the house. That way it's gonna lock, right? So we're just gonna put those in there. And then we're gonna take 4 of these screws that come with it. These are wood screws. You could pre-drill if you wanted to. I find that it's not an issue. I've put a lot of these in before. I'm not a pro, but I have done a lot of them. All right. All right, and there we go. So now these are mounted, all right? And if your door is installed right, they should line up pretty close with your holes out here. Now, if something's not exactly level, or maybe the frame out wasn't level, it may not be perfect, but it should be good enough to get it work. Like I said, on the other one over there, I gotta do some work around the deadbolt area. But next step is gonna be to put the handle on and then the deadbolt in. So be right back. All right. So in your hardware pack, you're going to have these machine bolts that are long, and the shorter ones are the ones that you're going to want for the handle. The deadbolt will use the longer ones. Also for this handle, the bottom hole, you're going to want that very shortest machine bolt, and you're also going to want this washer that goes on it, and I'm going to need that, and that's going to go in like that, okay? All right, let's get this stuff over to the door and go through the installation. All right, hopefully you're going to be able to see this good. So this handle, and see what I was talking about, how big that is on the bottom. If you were to chip out a little spot down here, there would be a little bit of grace with that. Okay, so that sits in there until it's working. All right, you just want to hold that in. I'll try not to move y'all too much. And a good practice on these is to hand start. You can use a screwdriver, be fine. Again, you don't want to use an impact on these. Now, I did use an impact when I did the other door. So you can use one, but for the purposes of this video, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to show you the wrong way to do it. If you've done this a lot and you've got a lot of experience with this kind of stuff and with the impact, you can get away with it. But you do want to be really careful. I'm having trouble getting it started with this. Well, my videos are real time. I don't put on a show. A lot of people edit out the difficulty of it. I'm looking through there and I can see it. There it is. You can tell when it starts. You can also tell when it's cross-threaded. And that's why a hand screwdriver works really well, because if you get it cross-threaded, then you can just back up. I tighten that one first, snug it up, not tight, just snug it up so that I can pull on this handle. And then I snug them both up. And that's all I'm going to do for right now, because see, this faceplate will move a little bit. And so once I get all of my stuff in, then I'm going to want to make sure I got this straight, okay? Down here, I put the concave, so if you're looking at this washer, it looks kind of like a cone. It's got an indentation that is on the bottom. And we're just going to go in here. Same thing. Take our time. Make sure we got it started without getting it cross-threaded. And this is where it's important to have that hole needs to be right, because if it's not, you're going to have a lot of trouble getting this bolt in. Okay? And so now I want to snug that down. And again, these are hollow core doors, so I got to be careful how much I tighten, because you can compress this stuff, right? All right, so that takes care of the installation of this. See? There we go. Now, one thing I will say about this Schlage lock that I did not know when I bought it, you cannot lock just this. So you can only lock the deadbolt. And just in case somebody says it, a deadbolt with a hand turn on this side is completely useless to keep people out when they can knock this window out, reach in and unlock it. I understand that, okay? Where I live at, I am not worried. I'm not saying somebody wouldn't break in, but I'm not worried about that, okay? So, there you go. So I know somebody might say, man, you know, that was dumb. If you're gonna do one of those kind of locks, you need to have a solid door. Here's the reality. Locks keep honest people honest, okay? People who want to break in are gonna break in. They're just gonna do it. You know, that's just the deal. So, all right. This here is really simple. You just drop the lock in. That's it, right? You just drop the lock in. Really, really simple. Okay. Actually, it goes like that. Oh, and the lock will just drop out. So you want to put this in to where the screws, y'all can see that, that's where the screws are going to go. These screws are going to go through your inside plate and they're going to screw in there. That's what holds the deadbolt in, okay? So. I'll take this. We got that laying flat. See, you want them holes lined up with the holes in the barrel, the lock there, okay? Hopefully get y'all where you can see. And then you take that straight up. And then you just work in there until you get it lined up. Now, sometimes that can be tricky. Sometimes, like in this case, it went straight in. No problem whatsoever, okay? Sometimes it's going to be that way. Sometimes it's not. All right. Now, remember when I said I could leave them loose? This is why I leave them loose. Look at that. That's obviously, now see, that looks a lot straighter, okay? And then I want to look in here and make sure that I'm relatively straight. Those look pretty good. And look, if you do get a little off, you can always loosen it back up and fix it, okay? Not the end of the world. All right. All right. One thing you want to do on these, which I probably should have already done before I installed it, you want to make sure your keys are going to work. Everybody makes mistakes. All right. And that is it. It's installed. Oh, hold on. One more little detail that we need to take care of. One more little detail. Cap. So that washer that you put on, there's a slot in it. I put the slot to the bottom. Did you hear it pop on? Now it'll turn, it'll move, so it's not a problem. But that's it as far as the handle and deadbolt installation. Now, the next part, if you need that, is going to be installing the striker plates, okay? And again, mine are already routed out, so I'm going to use this plate, and I'm going to use this plate, all right? Same thing, you got 4 of these screws that have the wood threads on them, coarse and then very fine. Now this gets a little more tricky, or it can, because you want to make sure that your door's all the way closed. And you're going to notice in my house, something's a little bit out. I try to tell where that lock's going. Like I can tell that mine's at the bottom of the hole. Which means that on my handle, where I'm hitting at is down close to the bottom here. Of course, the opening in the striker plate is large enough that it'll accommodate that. And I'm going to set my plate, because I want it to hold the door tight, I'm going to set it back a little bit. If you noticed, I was kind of having to push in on the door to get a tight seal. So I'm going to set it back like this. And I'm going to pop those 2 screws in it. So hang tight. All right, there we go. I got that installed, 2 screws. So let's take a look at it here. There we go. And see, that pulls me in almost flush up here. It could still go a little more. It'd be hard to shut, probably, if I did that. Main thing is out here, I want to make sure that I'm on my weather stripping. And I'm just barely at it right there. See how that closes up? So I may want to adjust that a little bit. Now, the trick to that, there's this little piece right here. You can put a flathead screwdriver in there and bend that thing back, and that'll make your door closure tighter. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Now, the deadbolt. So you already got a hole through here. And this deadbolt may or may not. Yeah, it's going. You want to make sure it goes all the way. Should go from straight up and down to straight across, okay? And it looks like, again, that I'm right at the bottom of the hole. That's where it's going through. Now, unfortunately, the reason I got to fix the one on the other side is there's not really much you can do in terms of adjustment on this. This kind of has to go. Now, you can take your wood chisel and chisel some more out here, but I actually think this one's probably going to work. I'm going to put 1 screw in it and check it. All right, we got 1 screw in the bottom. And let's see. Yeah, that one's working. See, the back door, the deadbolt's hitting about a 1/16 of an inch on the bottom there, okay? So that's why it's not working. All right, let me get the other screw in. And now we have both screws. And there we go. We are locked. Those handles have a little rattle to them. I don't really like that, but anyway. All right, so that's it. That's the installation, man. I mean, one of the things too you want to be careful of is inside pushing the door hard in order to make the deadbolt work, because if you do that, then it's not going to want to work out here. It'll work, but you'll have to pull on the handle and turn the key, which is you know, something you don't want to have to do. So right now we are locked. There we go. All right, that is it. Hey, I hope this video helped you. Again, you know, if it did, drop me a comment. I'd appreciate it. Like the video if it helped you. If it didn't help you, don't worry about liking it. You know, but it does take time to put these videos out. If I weren't doing a video, I could have done that lock in half the time. So, you know, it helps when, it helps the channel when people comment and like the video. And I'm doing this to help you, because the truth of the matter is, what I just did, you can do. Very basic tools, very easy. Now, yeah, I've done a lot of them, but they're just not that hard. So, hey, if you're putting in a new front door lock, you can do it. And if this video don't help you, YouTube another video. If you're using a Quickset brand or something else, I'm sure there's a video out there to help you. Hey, appreciate you watching. My prayer for you is always the same, that the Lord might richly bless you and that you might see all of your blessings as from Him. Hope you have a great day.